Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, and it is Real Estate Talk, TGIF. Thank God it's finale. I'm sorry, it is Friday, but it's thank God it's finale, and that's me. I want to welcome our very, very special guest, Karin Carr, who lives in Savannah, Georgia. And Karin and I, we've met over online through Facebook, but I've seen Karin speak at Inman, the conference there, I think a couple of times. And we have mutual acquaintances through this business of ours and through social media. So Karin, welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, David. I appreciate it.
No, this is fun. I mean, I enjoy these, and I've had some really, been very lucky. Had some really great people like Chris Smith. I had Mike McCallow's on, and some other, all different types of people throughout the real estate industry. And the reason I do this is to add value and to give as much value as I can to real estate agents, because that's our target. Mortgage professionals, sales professionals, et cetera, because a lot of our stuff can be used for other businesses. So Karin, we'll cut to the chase. Why you're into YouTube, you're into video. Why did you go into video? Or you want to tell me your story? Tell me a little bit about your story first, and then we'll get into that.
Okay, sure. So in a nutshell, I had been licensed since 2005, but I was in Northern California. And 5 years ago, we decided to move cross country to be closer to family. So when I got to my new area, it's like being a new agent all over again. You don't have any name recognition. Nobody knows you. They've never heard of you. They have no idea whether you're newly licensed or not. In fact, the very first offer I wrote, the agent went and looked me up on the Real Estate Commission website and said, oh God, she's a brand new agent. She doesn't know what she's doing. I'm like, well, I've been licensed for 10 years. I just got my license in Georgia. So yeah, I'm not a newbie. Cut me some slack, but that's the perception. So I thought, well, how am I going to get my name out there? I think I should start doing video. I was blogging and I was having some success with blogging, but it takes a long time. So for me to write a really good blog post that would rank on the first page of Google, it would take me a good week. You got to make it about 3,000 words. You're putting in videos, you're putting in infographics and photos and links to other pages. It's a lot of work. And I started to get a little bit lazy and said, well, what if I just made a video instead? Instead of writing a blog post, what if I just made a video? Because I can talk easily and I could fill up a 5-minute video in no time. Right. And would that work for me? And lo and behold, it started working for me very, within 3 months, I was getting people that were saying, hey, we found you on YouTube. We've watched all your videos. We want you to hire, or we want to hire you. So it was amazing to me at how easy it was and how quickly it started working.
Oh, that's great. So you went into that, you started using YouTube, and of course you had to teach yourself everything. Right? And you had to go through it. Before I go any further, you went to YouTube, which is interesting because it's only a couple of years ago, but Facebook ads were just really starting to be really popular. Actually, I started using Facebook ads a couple of years before that, and I was doing really well with it. Why didn't you just go into Facebook ads with either your video or posts?
Well, as far as ads, it was because I had no money coming in and I was a cheapskate. Like I had just moved to my area. I didn't have any clients yet. And, Facebook ads, I've not had a lot of success with Facebook ads. I'm going to be very honest. I would run ads and I could get buyer leads all day long for $1, $2, $3 a piece, but I could not convert them to save my life because the people are not really looking for real estate information on Facebook. They would stumble across your ad in the timeline and click on it because, oh, that house is pretty. But then when you'd follow up with them, either they never respond or they'd be like, no, I'm not planning on moving. I just clicked on the ad because it was a pretty house. So I didn't really want to spend tons of money and get 100 leads to maybe convert 1 or 2. I just felt like that wasn't a really good use of my money or my time.
Right.
And because I was new to the area, everybody that I was already connected with on Facebook did not live in my area. I mean, I literally knew 4 people when we moved here. My mom and dad live in Savannah, and I had 2 other friends that lived here. So for me to say, hey, want to buy a house in Savannah, everybody that's going to see it doesn't live in Savannah, and they're probably not planning on relocating here. So it wasn't going to do me a lot of good to just do it organically on Facebook. I was going to have to pay for ads. And I just didn't want to. But I knew that I could write a blog post that would rank on the first page of Google because I had done it before. It was working very well. So I thought, well, that's the same SEO strategy because Google owns YouTube, and YouTube is literally just a video version of the blog post. So if I know enough about SEO to kind of know what I was doing, I mean, I'm no expert, but I know a little bit about it.
Right.
And I figured if I could use the same SEO principles for a blog post on a YouTube video, then there's no reason why it shouldn't work.
Right. So you decide to do that, and you had all this thought process going on in your head. And the reason was because you had to build a following, or you had to build something because the sphere of influence was not there.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, all of my past, so I was a big REO listing agent back during the crash in Northern California. All of my past clients were Citibank, JP Morgan Chase, Ocwen, asset management companies. You don't just call them and say, can you give me a referral? It doesn't work that way. So I didn't have a lot of past clients. And the ones that I did where I actually helped a buyer or I helped an actual seller and not an institution, they all lived across the country. So I was like, I have no following. I'm pretty much starting over. It's like I just got my license last week. I am starting from scratch.
Right. And you parachuted into Savanna, and here it is.
There it is. Like, so, okay, get some business.
So, I was watching Water Cool the other day with Chris Smith and Jimmy Mackin, and they had Ethan on from Bomb, and they were talking.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So they were talking about video and everything else. And one of the things that Katie Lance has said, I heard her say this at Inman, and Ethan said the same thing, is this is what you look like, this is what you sound like, and those are situations that you have to deal with because people hear your voice the way it is, and people see you the way you are, and video doesn't change it. And that's one of the biggest blocks for people to do video. So how would you? Okay, so you're go through your starting phase of how you got started doing it with YouTube, with video, equipment, whatever.
Well, I started doing research on YouTube myself. So I was like, how do you grow a YouTube channel? How do you attract business? Like I'm not having a YouTube channel because I want to be a big influencer and I want to get brand sponsorships. I'm doing it because I'm trying to attract clients for my hyper local business. So how do I do that? And I stumbled across all of these great YouTube channels by Sunny Lenarduzzi, Nick Nimmin, Jessica Stansberry, Justin Brown, like tons of different people that were saying, if you have a business and you're trying to attract business, this is how you do it on YouTube. And I just started doing everything that they said to do. Now we're all afraid to be on camera at the beginning, right? Like I'm looking at myself on camera going, dear God, I look like I have not seen the sun in 15 years. I really need to go outside and get some sun. And my daughter did my eyeshadow for me and it's totally orange and I hate it. But you know what? What am I going to do? Am I not going to do this interview because I say, I'm sorry, I'm too pale. I can't be on camera right now. I mean, that's just dumb. Right. And the analogy that I always give when I'm talking to agents is, pardon me, allergies are bad this time of year. If somebody called you and said, I just got pre-approved for $500,000, I am taking a job in your city, I'm coming to town next Friday, and I'm leaving on Monday, and I need to be under contract on a house by the time I get on the plane and fly home again, because this is my only house hunting trip. Will you help me? Are you seriously going to say, I have to lose 10 pounds, so I'm not going to leave my house until that happens? Like, of course you're not. Right. So if you have some sort of hang up with your physical appearance, make a plan. Like if you need to lose 10 pounds, okay, fine. Figure out how you're going to do it. Do keto, join Weight Watchers, do whatever it is that you're going to do. But don't let it stop you from earning a business, earning a living in the meantime. You still got to go out there and meet with clients. And exactly like you said, David, the way that you look on camera is exactly how you look in real life.
Right.
So you don't need to try to be anything other than what you are. And in fact, that's been one of the greatest things that I've learned about YouTube. Like attracts like. The way that you are on camera, you will attract people that are similar to that to you. So I don't wear fancy suits. I don't drive up in my Lamborghini. Like that's not me. I don't wear t-shirt and sweatpants. I don't want to look like a slob, but I just wear business casual clothes. And half the time I'm wearing tank top and flip-flops because I live in Savannah and it's hot here. And that's the type of person that I attract to me.
Right.
I'm goofy in my videos. I crack jokes. I talk with my hands. I leave the bloopers in because I think they're funny. And time again, I get calls from people that say, I've been following your YouTube channel. I just love your personality. You're so funny. I love that you don't take yourself too seriously. The bloopers are always my favorite part of your videos. You know, we want to buy a house. Will you help us? And then when I meet with them for the first time, they feel like they've known me for years,
right?
Because they've literally seen so many of my videos. There's no awkwardness between us. Even though I've never met them before, they feel like they know me. And when I say, here is my exclusive buyer brokerage agreement, would you like to sign it? Because we're not getting in the car until you do. They go, give me a pen. Like, they don't push back. They're not interviewing other agents by the time they reach out to you. They feel like they know you already. They've already decided that you're the person they want to hire. So it's awesome. Like, when you go to meet with them, it's a foregone conclusion that they are going to become your client. So it's just a matter of, here's the paperwork, sign it, let's get going.
So getting back to the fear, and that's fantastic. That's great. That's a great way to look at it. And it's more like, you know, coming to get it business, because you're already out there, and it's working for you when you're sleeping too, which is really cool, right? So you and I were talking about something before we went live, and it was a question I had for you about how to appear on camera. And just for everybody to know, I asked a question about, sometimes I'm looking at the camera, not talking to somebody. There's a critique I had from associates that were working together on a project. And I just realized, thinking that, you know what? If you think too much, it's not going to come off like you like it. You know, would you agree with that?
I absolutely agree with it. I have people ask me all the time if they should use a teleprompter. And my answer is no, because it's really, really hard to read from a teleprompter and not look like you're reading. So it's the difference between your video looking like this. Hi, I'm Karin Carr. I am a realtor in Savanna with Keller Williams. If you've never been here before, please hit subscribe. I mean, it looks awkward. And if you look awkward on camera, it feels uncomfortable for the viewer. Whereas if you just say, hey, everyone, I'm Karin Carr. I'm a realtor in Savannah. You should hit the subscribe button. And if you trip over your words, big deal. You could leave it in, or you could edit it out later, because it's not live. It's not a Facebook Live. You can edit it. If you say the wrong thing, like, I'll be recording and then I'll go, oh my, why did I say that? That was so stupid. Okay, I'm going to cut that part out. And then I start over again. And later when I go to edit it, it's literally just a matter of split the clip here, take the mistake and hit the delete button. It's very easy.
Well, people will say that that's too difficult to do, but if you have one of these things called an iPhone, iMovie is right on the phone, and it's really easy to do, right?
And iMovie is very, very simple. It's literally tap, highlight, hit the delete button. It takes me 10 seconds to delete the mistake. It's easy.
Right. And the good thing about this is, I got a good friend of mine, Matt Allman from California, with a company called Social Networks that I've worked with for years. And he says all the time, the imperfection is the connection.
Agreed.
Which is really cool thing to think about, because look, I've been doing video for like 12 years, and every time I either go live or I'm going to do a video, I have, you know, I got the anxiety, I've got the nerves, right?
Right.
Especially since some stuff I just started doing outside. I'll do lives in my office all day long, and that's fine. I still get a little nerves there. But if I'm out doing a market statistics video in the middle of town, you know, there's cars going by, and, you know, I'm thinking, what's going through my head? Just like everybody else. What's this guy going to say? He's going past me. You know what? Don't care what they say, because you don't know them, right?
Very true. And you know what? For me, I rarely vlog in public, because that still freaks me out. Like, I'm not the person that goes to Inman with my phone on the selfie stick and I'm walking all around vlogging live. I just don't do that. I record here. This is my home office. I film 90% of my videos in this room. If you don't want to do it in public, don't.
Right. Right. I am that guy from time to time at Inman doing that, by the way. So don't think.
No, I'm so impressed by the people that can do it. I watch them and I'm like, God, I could never do that in a million years.
So how long, one of the things, I know you talked a little bit about it. So once you got started putting your videos on YouTube and, you had to, I don't want to get really too complicated, but you had to tag things, use keywords, et cetera.
Yeah.
How long did it take before, you got noticed and you were getting business, or let's just say people just out and out calling you from your videos?
So I started making those videos weekly in June of 2017, and I got my first lead in September. So it took 3 months, and it was a come list me phone call where I showed up, I did a listing presentation. I said, who else are you interviewing? And they said, nobody, we picked you. We signed the listing agreement at the kitchen table then and there. I was like, this is the most awesome thing that's ever happened to me. Like, I was not prepared that it would be a come list me. It was amazing. And then another one about a month later, and then another one about a month later, and then they started snowballing, and now it's happening several times a week. But the thing that happened first was I started getting more attention from my peers, which I didn't know, because I'm making videos, putting them on YouTube about living in Savannah. So why is a real estate agent in Wyoming watching my channel? And how did they even find it in the first place? I have absolutely no idea. But I started having other agents reaching out to me first saying, I've been watching your channel. This is good stuff. Like, how did you start doing this? And is it working for you? Are you actually getting any business? So it was weird that I started getting more notice from my peers before I started getting business. And then within 6 months, I was getting the majority of my business from it. Wow. So then I started being asked, would you come speak at our office? Would you do a Facebook Live? Could I interview you like this? And start asking you how you're doing this. And so it snowballed very, very quickly. I went from having I probably had like 5, maybe 10 videos on my channel that I had done over the past several years, right, to getting the majority of my business within about 9 months.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, I've been, I've haven't used YouTube that way in such a very long time, and it's so great to hear a story like this where where it's just like, holy crap, this stuff really does work. And that's always been my goal when I was a broker owner of a real estate brokerage, to have people come in and say this stuff worked, and that always happened. So I want to switch gears a little bit here, and our first real, I think our base connection recently was our mutual friend Lauren Taylor.
Yes.
Okay. And Lauren and I met through Modern Agent Mastery with Grant Wise, who's a good friend of mine, and I think you may even know Grant. But so Lauren decided to start doing something about virtual house hunting, and in one of the things that I try to do in my coaching is I talk about what I like to call the art of differentiation. And it's not that it's different than anybody, it's just what others won't do. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're doing what others refuse to do, which is video. And it's been that way for years. But there's a different way to show homes. And you had mentioned that transferee coming in that had one day. Talk to us about virtual house hunting and what you do with video for that.
Yeah. So when Lauren first, she and I were in a Facebook group together, and she started talking about this virtual reality house hunting thing. And I thought, that's freaking brilliant. And I was trying to do it on my own, and it wasn't nearly as easy. So I did sign up for her Savvy House Hunting program, which shout out to that, because it's gotten me so much ridiculous business. It's awesome. So when somebody is moving to the area, and we have 2 military bases in Savannah, so we get a lot of people that are moving here. My husband is retired Air Force. I love working with military. That's kind of my niche. So I started making videos saying, listen, you're going to be PCSing here from South Korea. They do not pay for you to come here for a house hunting trip. When you arrive, you get 30 days of temporary lodging. Right. You don't know the area. You can't arrive, check into the hotel, start looking around, find the house, go into your contract, close on the house, and do all of that in 30 days. It's just not really realistic, especially for a first-time buyer. It's not like they're paying cash and they're going to close in 10 days. Right. So what I said was, let us help you. You tell us what you're looking for. I want this many bedrooms. I want this square footage. I need to have a 2-car garage. I need to be in a good school district. I need to have a fenced yard. You're telling us whatever your criteria is. We will email you the listings just like everybody else will from the MLS. But when you find the house and say, no, no, no. Ooh, this one looks really good. We will go take a video of it for you. And we would use our 360 camera to take a 360 video. So when they watch it on their phone, they can, you look up and you see the ceiling, and you look down and you see the hardwood floor, and you can turn in a complete circle. And I would go to the house with my camera on a little tripod. I would stick it on the kitchen counter, and then I could open the pantry and say, okay, look how much room is inside the pantry, because the camera is now seeing all of this stuff. I can upload the video, send them the link, they watch it, and then they say, no, I don't like how close it is to the house next door, or there's too much freeway noise, or they go, oh my God, that's perfect. Put that on the short list. So we would then either show it to them in person when they arrive in town, or many people wrote an offer sight unseen because they felt like they knew that house. After having seen that video, they felt like they were there. The whole virtual reality thing. And in fact, Lauren kind of gives me a hard time about it because I made a boatload of YouTube videos calling it virtual reality house hunting. And now when you go on YouTube and you type in virtual reality house hunting, all of my videos pop up, not hers. And she was the inventor of that platform. So it was kind of like, yep, it's all the power of SEO.
Right.
So when people go on YouTube, they don't care about your open house. They are not going there to see a tour of your open house. They're not even necessarily going to see a tour of your new listing. They have a question and they are typing it into the Google search bar, and your video needs to be the answer to that question. So people that have a YouTube channel, it's got 100 videos, but they're all your listings, and you are not on camera, and you're not even doing a voiceover, so I'm not hearing your voice. They have 4 subscribers, and nobody watches the videos. They get no views, and they can't figure out why. Because that's not what people are going there for. They are typing in, how do I buy a house with no money down? Relocating to San Diego. What is the median home price in Pasadena? Like, they're Googling stuff like that. So you figure out what is it that they're trying to find out, and then you make a video to answer that question.
Absolutely. I mean, that is the biggest question that I have gotten for years about social media, about video. What do I write about? What do I post about? What do I do a video about? It's just, I mean, it's really simple, right? So I wrote an ebook a number of years ago. And I got this from, we were talking earlier about Traffic Geyser. And what they said is do an ebook. So it was the 10 questions sellers ask you and the 10 questions sellers should ask you. So that was the ebook. 10 questions they ask you, 10 questions they should ask you. And you know what? I don't have to tell anybody what those questions are. You know what they are, right? It's the same thing for buyers. You can do the same thing about mortgages. If a mortgage guy, a loan officer watches this, he can do an ebook about the same thing. And each of those questions, you can do a video on. So guess what? I just told you 20 topics to videos, right?
Absolutely.
There's always, have you done, I know you've done some really cool stuff. And one of the things that, I think one of my favorite videos of yours is the things that you like about Savannah, Georgia, things you don't like about Savannah or something like that. I forget the name of it. But I think that's really cool because you're not telling people not to come there because the things are bad. It's just what you don't like. And so it's really pretty cool and ingenious how you've done things. And that's really cool. Now, you have several things that you work on to not only for your business, but also to help real estate agents. You have a page called, a website called YouTubeforagents.com. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So like I was saying earlier, I started getting more recognition from my colleagues before I started getting leads from this. And so many people wanted to know, like they would say, I've been doing Facebook Lives for 9 months. And I would say, well, that's awesome. Are you getting any business from it? And they'd say no. And it's like, well, it's probably because people are not looking for real estate agent or real estate information on Facebook, but they're Googling it. So put the video where the eyeballs are. If you're going to be making the video, put it where people are actually looking for it. And in my opinion, I don't think that's Facebook. Facebook is great for top of mind awareness, staying in front of your sphere. But when the time comes, that's not where they go to do their research. So put it on YouTube. And the more people that reached out to me and were asking me questions, and I love teaching and I love answering these questions, but I realized like, oh my God, I'm spending like 10 hours a week on the phone teaching people. So I did a video one day where I said, if I created a course, would anybody take it? And I had like 150 people sign up on the interest list. So I made a course. I made a digital course called YouTube for Agents, where I basically taught them step by step everything that I had done that was working for me so well. And I launched it last July. I've had over 200 people go through it. Some of them are in Australia, some of them are in Canada, most of them are in the United States, but everybody seems to be in a different market. And it just is the highlight of my day when I see them post in our Facebook group and they're like, I got a lead today. It's like, it's so gratifying for me because this stuff really, really does work if you can just be brave enough to get over your fear of being on camera.
Well, you talk about where people are going for things, right? You've talked about Facebook and true. And I say this all the time. No one is waking up on a Saturday morning and saying, I'm going to Facebook to find a house, right? It's you're there, and your presence on Facebook and other social media channels is extremely important just so that people can find you and be there. It's just like I talk about reviews, right? People think, reviews are really, really important, and I got to put the reviews on. Hey, have you ever gone to Zillow and typed in real estate agents in a town? How many pages are coming up with at least 10 agents on a page with 5-star reviews? At least 10 pages. That's over 100 agents.
Yep.
You don't choose from that. That's where you verify. Right? That's where people want to come and see you. Once they find out something about you, they're going to go and verify. So that's what's really important about that. And, it's just for a couple of things. And these are things I talk about in my programs and stuff. But if anybody's interested in Karin's program, if they contact me either via messenger, phone, email, whatever, I actually have a coupon code to save money. Thanks to Karin, right? And I want to answer a question. We got a question here from Michael Morley. And he says, do you use an app or program to go live like this with the graphics and names? So since this is video, right? I use a simple program called BeLive.tv. I mean, there's more I can do with it, but you know what? I use the KISS principle. I keep it simple, stupid, because that's me. I'm stupid, but I try to keep it this way. And all I do is put the names on, and I have my graphic up there, over there. And, that's what I do with it. And it's BeLive.tv. So you can do these collaboratively. You can do them singularly. And there's other things you can do with it. But this is a great little program to do this live on Facebook. You can also do it on Facebook as well. But when I get like I know how to do something, I don't want to learn something else. And this is perfect for me. So if you have one thing that you would tell people aside from just do it, what would you tell them about video and YouTube?
Well, YouTube is harnessing the power of search engine optimization, SEO. So if you can figure out what people are Googling. So for instance, I made a video called Moving to Savanna. That was one of the first videos I did when I got here. And I went to Google and I typed in Moving to Savanna, and it shows you all of the suggestions, right? There are 10 things that drop down below the search bar. And those are things that people have typed into the Google search bar within the last 30 days. Then you can do keyword research. And I use a tool called Keywords Everywhere, which is free and it's freaking amazing. Because if I type in Moving to Savanna in the Google search bar, it tells me there are 720 searches a month being done for that exact phrase. There are 400 a month being done for Moving to Savanna, but there are 720 of Moving to Savannah, Georgia. So if you're going to call your video something, do the one that's getting 720 searches a month as opposed to the one that's only getting 100 searches a month. So Keywords Everywhere is freaking amazing. They're not searching for that kind of information on Instagram or on Facebook. They're doing it on YouTube. So that's why I chose the platform, and it's worked extremely well for me. In fact, I looked at all of my closings last year and I tallied up where each person came from, and 19 of them were from YouTube.
Yeah, and it's really important to be I just said keep it simple, and that's really important. The keywords, you don't want to go crazy with them. You don't want to repeat them in the same thing. Like if you said you don't want to use the same words and add another word, because the algorithms, I believe, see that as well. I'm getting too complicated. Sorry about that. But look, this is not as difficult as people think it is. And then you give out some stuff YouTube for agents.com. You give some stuff out and then you ask them to join. Is that correct?
Yeah. I've got a whole page, like a blog, where tons and tons of articles. I have a YouTube channel where I just give tips on this stuff as well. You can go to youtube.com/Karin Carr, and that's the channel where I'm just, like, I don't know, how to make a custom thumbnail, or how to do keyword research, or what's the best keyword research tool, or how do you edit on your phone, stuff like that, where I give lots of tips. Because it's really, it's a skill like anything else. You're going to learn how to, I don't know, if you learn how to do a Facebook Live on your phone, you had to learn how to do it in the beginning. It's the same with YouTube. You learn how to do it at the beginning, and then after you master it, you get better and better and better. After you have made, I don't know, probably 5 videos where you record it, you're watching it back as you're editing it, you just get over yourself. Like, you're not, at first you were very nervous, but now you've seen yourself over and over and over again. You've heard your voice every time you're playing it back. You're just kind of over it. It's not an obstacle anymore. So it's no longer a barrier for you. It's kind of like, okay, I'm going to record every Thursday and I'm going to publish every Monday, and it is what it is. It's just something that you do. It's like brushing your teeth. You don't think about it. You just do it.
Right. And the interesting thing is that after a while, for me, once I watch it once, or I think it went well, I actually don't look at it again. Mm-hmm. I just post it and I'm happy with it, because when I do a live such as this, we can't go back and change it. Right. I remember a couple of weeks ago, I did a live where I did, as I went live, I had my hand blocking my face or something. And it was the only video I ever deleted from a live. I went back and redid it. But once you go live, that's it. Be happy with it. And if you make a mistake, laugh, because it's imperfection. The imperfection is the connection. Remember that. Thank you. But
the only way that you get better is to keep practicing and to keep doing it. And even your worst videos can still bring you leads. Like, I've got a video that I did a couple years ago when I lived in my old market. My office was dark brown. I had terrible lighting. I did it on the webcam on my computer. I did not have a microphone. It was really, really poorly done. And when I watched it back, I absolutely cringed. And it still had thousands of views, even though it totally sucked, because it was good information. And I think people are totally willing to overlook your production value if you are giving them good content. And by good content, I mean you are not asking for anything in return. And that is one of the biggest secrets to using YouTube, is you are giving them the content freely. You are not asking for anything in return. You do not have a call to action at the end where you say, if you're planning on buying a house, call me. I'm a top producer in my market. And you're making it all about yourself. You don't do that. You give them all of the information. You put your contact information in the description box below. You say, I'm a real estate licensee and my brokerage is, because you have to be compliant with your state. But that's pretty much it. Like, you're seriously only giving your information in order to not get in trouble with your local real estate commission. You are just giving them the information. And by asking for nothing in return, their defenses go down, because now you're not a salesperson. You're not trying to get me to buy something I don't need. Right. I am totally willing to listen to what you have to say. If I liked your personality and if you're, charismatic, I will watch and listen, because I don't feel like you're trying to sell me.
I tell you what, there's so much value in the past 30 minutes here. And what you just said, I think, is the hardest thing that real estate agents need to absorb. Yes. Which is, the era of ego marketing is gone. Don't ask for anything. Look, years ago, there was, I don't know if you remember, if you know the name Frank Kern or, Mike Koenigs, these guys were big in video 12 years ago when I first got in it. Mm-hmm. And one of the things they said in infomercials and stuff, when you saw the infomercial on TV, the ones you saw on the internet were different. And what they did is they gave away all the information that was worthwhile, and they sold the crap, right? So they gave away all the good information. Now, granted, you needed their help to put some pieces together, but they gave their information away. And it's a law of reciprocity. When you give, people are going to give back. Yes. Right? And that's just, that is just something. And I got to say this. I got to call out somebody. Matt DeFady just wrote, ego marketing. Him and I have gone back and forth in my area about that phrase over the last year. But it's just something don't ask, just give it, and it's going to come back to you in droves. Any final? Well, first of all, you talked about your YouTube channel and where you give a lot of information, guys. That is the stuff she has there is amazing. How to do some images, the keyword research. That stuff is so valuable, and she's giving it to you for free. I know we like that 4-letter word. That's a good.
Yes, my favorite 4-letter word, right?
It's so valuable. So it's YouTubeforagents.com, and it was youtube.com/Karin Carr, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what other, I said this already, but I'm going to say it again. Any other big words of advice, or how do people contact you so that you can help them if they want to reach out?
Yeah, so I've got a free download on my website, youtubeforagents.com. It's the step-by-step checklist that I go every time I make a video and I publish it on YouTube. Like, these are the steps that I go through that make those videos get found and watched. So if you want to download it, just go to youtubeforagents.com. It's right on the homepage. It's going to say, hey, do you want to download my free thing? Go get it, by all means. You can send me a message on Facebook. It's just, I think my Facebook name is Karin Atkinson Carr, because it's got my maiden name in there as well. You can comment on any of my videos on Facebook or on YouTube, and I try to answer all of the comments. So if you type a comment, I'll write back. So yeah, I'll give you as much information as you want. I mean, really, the only reason I created the course was because there simply are not enough hours in the day to coach everybody individually. I can't do it because I'm still selling real estate. Like, I'm still working with clients. It's been so successful for me that I've hired a team. I now have buyer's agents, but I'm going on a listing appointment as soon as we hang up today. So right. I'm still out there doing it. And this was a good way for me to give the information to as many people that want it as possible. Right.
And as well, to be even more realistic and more real, originally we were going to do this at, I think, 1 o'clock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Changed it back to 11 because your appointment changed the time.
Yeah.
So I know that I need to be flexible, just like a real estate agent needs to be flexible with these times. So I just want to come out, and you have a friend calling you a rock star here. Philip Randolph says she's a rock star here in Savannah. So he's saying out there, and want to thank Matt, who's always on. Love YouTube, buddy. He goes, great stuff. And again, he's hitting the ego marketing, and he's thanking us for what we're doing. So anyway, Karin, thank you so much for coming on. And you know what? I have to tell you that I know the main reason you come on. All my guests come on for the same reason, by the way. They want one of these hats.
I so want the hat. Yes.
Right. So I'm going to send this out to you within the next day or so, and everybody gets the hat, because that's why people come on, honestly. And you know what? They do believe it's, thank God, it's finale. So thank you so much for coming on. Stay on for a minute. And everybody, if you're interested in getting more information, you know how to reach Karin now. It's go to youtube.com/Karin Carr. For more information about me, real soon, I've got a website coming out called realestateskillbuilder.com. Or if you want to talk to me, go to reskillbuilder.com, and you can set up a time to talk with me about us working together. Anyway, thanks again. And by the way, it is Good Friday. I want to wish everybody a happy Easter. And we'll be back next week. And next week, we have the one and only Steve Harney coming on. Steve is the owner of and the main person of keepingcurrentmatters.com. So Steve's going to be on with us, and we've got some great guests already lined up. We've got some top agents, some top brokers. We've got them already lined up for May and June, and then again in June we got Tom Ferry. So Karin, again, thanks for coming on. We'll see you real soon, and just stay on for a second. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.